All right, so just making a quick little wrap-up video just for you to kind of see what we've been doing this week. He's doing really well. He's super motivated by everything going on around him. So I really wanted to first focus on getting his engagement and getting him finding value and paying attention to me and not being so invested with all of our competing motivators, so the dogs, people, random sounds, things like that. So the first thing that we did was establish a response to the marker system that I use. I know. So a marker is just a cue or sound that marks a moment in time that I like something. And then for him, that's going to announce the arrival of food. So every time he hears this marker, food is presented to him so that we can create an association. And as I'm shaping behaviors, when he goes into the behavior that I like, I can mark that. That bridges the gap between behavior and delivery of reward. So then it causes that behavior to take on essentially the good feeling of food that he likes. So I have a couple different markers. Yes, good, okay, and then the word no. So those are all going to, through association, those are going to help paint the picture of my expectation within each behavior. So when I use the word yes, that means I like what you did there, come get food from me. There's nothing past the exact behavior that he showed. So I usually use that one in the beginning to shape new behaviors. And then good, no, and okay are going to be ones that I am expecting a little bit of duration within. So if I lure him into a behavior, let's say I lure him into a sit. When he shows me the sit, I'll say the word good, food, good, food. I'll bring the food to him, and I want him to remain in that behavior until I release him. So right now it's just kind of pretty low key. With that, I'm mostly gravitating towards the yes marker until he's fairly consistently showing me the behavior that I'm looking. And then I'll start adding in that good to keep him in that behavior for extended periods. So the frequency at which I deliver the reinforcement is going to be pretty quickly, like good treat, good treat, good treat, to keep up with his attention span. And then okay means he can come out of behavior. So good, I'm bringing food to him. Okay, I'm moving out of the way so he can follow the food up and out of behavior. And then once I'm sure he's understanding what I'm asking for, if he comes out of behavior prematurely, I can say the word no. So right now I'm just kind of lightly starting to sprinkle in that word no just to help create that association. But I don't really want to correct him just yet because I want to really make sure he understands what I'm asking for before I tell him he's doing something wrong, just to be fair. So out and about, like we just were outside before we came in to make this video, I'm really trying to help him find value in paying attention to me out on his walks because he likes to see other dogs. If people walk by, he's kind of pulling over towards them. He's pulling ahead of me to go sniff and just kind of check out. So I'm doing a lot of directional changes. So I'll walk up. If he gets ahead of me, I just turn and go the opposite direction. When he meets the end of the line, he turns to see me walking away. So just a little bit of disorientation to cause him to feel the need to pay attention in order to avoid being left behind. And then when he starts to walk by my side and look up at me, I'm going to mark that. I like that he's paying attention to me. I don't need him to stare at me the entire time, but if he's turning right when I turn without needing leash guidance, I'm going to mark and reward that as well. So I'm really paying him right now in the fundamental stage for acknowledging me, paying attention to me, checking in with me. And I think that paying a lot of attention to that stuff right now is going to make future training much easier. If I'm having to chase him down to give him reinforcement or, put leash pressure on to get him to pay attention to me, he's not in the mindset where he's paying attention to me. He's motivated elsewhere, and that's going to make training really difficult. So I have to go above and out of my way right now to get to create that value in him wanting to do things with me, and that'll make everything else much easier. So that's where we are right now. Every time he starts to pay attention to a dog, at the very first sign of him looking at them, I'll say yes and run backwards. Louie, yes, run backwards to deliver his reinforcement. And something that I noticed today is that he's gotten kind of used to taking his food and then rechecking out. So what I've been doing a lot of is continuing payment frequently so that he's learning that when I give him food, that's not behavior over. There's a possibility of him continuing to get more and more and more reinforcement. So I don't want him to be able to predict how much I'm going to give him. I want him to assume that there's a possibility that reinforcement is going to continue, just so we don't have that checkout so early. So if I say, yes, and I offer him food, yes, I dropped the leash, yes, 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 good boy. He's going to be more interested in staying engaged with me. We've already done our session just right before I came in here, so he's kind of satiated as far as needs for food. So that wasn't as exciting as it normally is. I know, right, bud? But that's where we are right now. He's doing really, really well. And I'll continue to send updates. You're welcome to come and check with him. He didn't seem to be bothered by you coming and visiting yesterday. I think he's living his best life, so he never really went through like a stress period here. I think he played so rough his first day that he just went to sleep, but it was time for him to be in his kennel by himself. Right, bud? All right, good boy.